Welcome and climb on board as I take you on an amazing journey to explore the origins and history of North Carolina's student bus drivers.
This sign tells motorists to stop for the bus.
Back in the day, high school students actually got to drive buses, and I was one of those that got chosen to drive a bus.
North Carolina officially committed to transportation for its students in 1911. 6 years later, Pamlico County purchased a 30-passenger bus from the Corbett Company of Henderson to transport students to school. By 1928, every North Carolina county boasted transportation for its public school students. It would be comforting to think that safety was the number one priority of educators when it came to student transportation. But the widespread hiring of student drivers in North Carolina primarily came down to cost. In short, students were a much cheaper option than adults. When the Great Depression hit, schools were under even greater financial pressure, leading to the state's full embrace of student bus drivers by 1933.
To me, it didn't feel weird. It felt more like I was honored, because back then it was student bus drivers everywhere in North Carolina.
For kids like Marty Webb, being a student bus driver was like hitting the teenage trifecta. You had your own vehicle to drive to school, you were well paid, and you were considered cool by other students.
Well, when I found out that a bus driver made $30 a month, and I had just bought my first car, a '55 Chevy, and I got a $300 loan from the bank, and guess what, guys? My payment was $25 a month. So I had $5 a month left to buy gas.
Generations of teens that grew up doing everything from the jitterbug to the hustle had to learn a new dance that included clutch, brake, and gas pedals. And the power steering?
There was no power steering. There was no power brakes. Everything was manual. It was fun. I mean, you get to go through jamming the gears. Yeah, that was fun, man.
At least 20 states made use of student bus drivers over the years. But North Carolina's program was the envy of the nation for its relative safety and sterling efficiency. In 1959, the national average for transporting students was $39 per pupil. North Carolina's cost was $15 per pupil.
I got licensed in '64 from the state of North Carolina. Got my bus driving license in December of 1964.
On the safety side of the equation, both opponents and proponents of student bus drivers cited various accident statistics to make their respective cases.
It just so happened that I got a bus pretty quick because another student who was a bus driver had gotten a speeding ticket. And if you get a ticket or a citation in North Carolina, they take your school bus driver's license.
The scale of the operation is hard to fathom today. According to North Carolina's 1965 Handbook for School Bus Drivers, 500,000 students were transported to and from school daily by the drivers, 90% of whom were students.
So I was very nervous when I got my first route, and of course, I overcame that pretty quick. The kids made me feel welcome. That was the main thing.
In the 1980s, Wendy Webb Johnson, Marty Webb's daughter, became a student bus driver, ferrying middle school students her junior and senior years while attending 71st High School in Fayetteville.
She came home, "Daddy, I passed my bus driving test today, and guess what? They've already given me a route." But I was a proud daddy that day in 1984.
As it turned out, Johnson represented the last generation of student bus drivers. In 1966, Congress amended the Fair Labor Standards Act, forbidding employment of those under 18 in hazardous occupations, including driving a bus. North Carolina and several other states received exemptions for more than 20 years, but in 1988, no exemptions were granted, and the student bus drivers finally reached the end of the road. At a time when North Carolina is struggling to find qualified bus drivers, it's mind-boggling to think that there was once a steady supply of willing, dedicated, and talented teenagers who could navigate a 35-foot-long bus with the skill of a sea captain, handle a stick shift like Junior Johnson, and most impressive, look cool doing it. To learn more about North Carolina student bus drivers, read my story in the September 2025 issue of Our State magazine. And consider becoming a subscriber to have issues delivered straight to your door. This video is sponsored by the Heart of North Carolina Visitors Bureau. Subscribe to the Our State YouTube channel for more videos about North Carolina.